Crime theories. Over the years, many theories have been developed in respect of why a person commits a criminal offence. The nature versus nature argument being a prime example. Does a person become a criminal because of genetic or environmental influences? Whilst debates undoubtedly impact on how society views and responds to crime and criminality, there is little that can be done on a day-to-day basis to address such issues. It is an integral component of the analyst's role to identify and understand why a crime has occurred and to suggest methods of addressing those issues. On the face of it, this might appear to be a difficult task to identify the causes of crime. However, it need not be and should be undertaken as part of a crime prevention process. If the cause of a crime can be identified, the analyst is in a better position to suggest solutions that might address those issues and prevent reoccurrences. An individual's behaviour is the product of their action or reaction in relationship to the environment they are in at a particular time. It can be conscious or unconscious, overt or covert, and voluntary or involuntary. As we can see, behaviour has two constituent parts, action or reaction, and environment. Traditionally, researchers and academics in the field have focused upon the former, attempting to identify why some individuals have a propensity to commit crime and others have not. The important features of the environment which encourage the transformation of a criminal inclination into a criminal activity have often been neglected. Research by environmental criminologists has demonstrated how some environmental factors can provide more crime opportunities than others. It goes without saying that physical opportunity is a prerequisite for a crime to occur. A person may have the inclination or predisposition to commit a crime, but without opportunity it cannot occur. As a consequence, the old adage, "opportunity makes the thief," is in fact a truth. It is the environment, the setting, that provides opportunities for a crime. The general principle of this module is that opportunity causes crime. In other words, opportunity makes the thief. Crime opportunity theories all rest upon the single principle that easy or tempting opportunities entice people into criminal activities. This principle underpins the routine activity theory, crime pattern theory, and rational choice theory, each of which will be examined now. Routine activity theory is controversial among sociologists who believe in the social causes of crime. It says that crime is normal and is dependent upon the opportunities available. If a target is not protected enough, and if the reward is worth it, crime will happen. It first came into existence to explain predatory crime, such as sexual assaults and street robbery. It postulates that for such crimes to occur, there must be a temporal and spatial convergence of three crucial elements: a likely offender, a suitable target, and the absence of a capable guardian. Put another way, the offender and the target come together in the same place at the same time in the absence of a guardian. Clearly, the offender is the potential perpetrator of the crime. The term target takes on a wider meaning than a simple victim. It could of course be a person, but equally the victim could be absent from the scene of the crime. For example, a car theft victim is normally away from the vehicle when it is stolen. The target very often is a tangible object of some kind and is separated from the victim, the owner, at the time of the crime. This concept is visualized using the crime triangle, which is also known as the problem analysis triangle. It provides a way of thinking about recurring problems of crime and disorder. Offenders can sometimes be controlled by other people. Those people are known as handlers. Targets and victims can sometimes be protected by other people as well. Those people are known as guardians. And places are usually controlled by someone. Those people are known as managers. Thus, Effective problem solving requires understanding of how offenders and their targets or victims come together in places, and understanding how those offenders, targets or victims and places are or are not effectively controlled. Understanding the weaknesses in the problem analysis triangle in the context of a particular problem will point the way to new interventions. Routine activity theory is the combination of the target's position in time and space that puts it at a greater or lesser risk of criminal attack. A target's risk of criminal attack is influenced by 4 factors. They are value, inertia, visibility and access. They are often referred to by the acronym VIVA, V-I-V-A, and are considered from the offender's perspective. In a nutshell, it's about what the offender considers to be of importance. The value of a target is based upon the offender's perception of what is valuable or attractive. For example, 2 items of equal monetary value but of different desirability, one fashionable, the other less so, would result in the more desirable target being stolen. The target's inertia is simply a reference to how portable or transportable. It is its weight or bulk. Small, valuable electronic goods have more appeal than equally valuable but heavier and bulkier items, unless the bulkier item can be readily transported. A target's visibility refers to its exposure to the thief. Simply put, the thief's awareness of the existence and location of the target. For example, a robber sees an old person leave a post office with their pension money. Access refers to the offender's ability to make contact with, seize or otherwise gain control of the target. A feature of routine activity theory is that crime can increase without an increase in offenders. This can occur if the number of potential targets increases or if an offender can gain access to potential targets without guardians being present. The significance of this is that crime may increase because of the changes within a community. For example, more people go out to work. Crime pattern theory considers how key components involved in a crime, which is people and things, move about in time and space. Analysis of crime patterns can tell us how people, both offenders and targets, interact with their physical environment and produce more or less opportunities for a crime to occur. The theory proposes that criminal events are more likely to occur in areas where the activity space of offenders overlaps with the activity space of potential targets. An individual's activity space is the area familiar to that person as a consequence of their everyday activities. For example, where they live, work, go shopping, play and commute. The activity space of the target is simply the location when attacked. The theory has 3 main concepts. They are nodes, paths and edges. Nodes are locations where people travel from and to, so they include locations such as home, workplace, places of recreation and so forth. Crime can be generated both in and around such locations. So, for example, a city centre bar may have problems in the bar and also in the streets in close proximity. Paths are the routes between personal activity spaces. For example, the physical path taken by a person between home and their places of entertainment. The theory suggests that offenders search for crime targets around their personal activity spaces and the paths between them. Crimes may occur a little way off the path, but offenders do not usually go far beyond the area they are familiar with. Unsurprisingly, the paths that victims take in their everyday activities are closely related to where they fall victim to a crime. Edges are the boundary areas between where people live, work, shop or seek entertainment. Some types of crime are more likely to occur around the edges of activity spaces because people from different neighbourhoods may come together at these locations. For example, offences of assault, racial incidents, or robbery may occur at the edges. Researchers in this field, such as Brantingham and Felsen and Clark, place great emphasis on the geographical distribution of crime and the daily rhythms of activity. Rhythms of activity include things such as commuter flows, schools, stores and bar openings and closings, anything that moves people along paths amongst the nodes. This might be matched by counterflow or influx of criminals dependent upon the crime being examined. For example, as people leave residential areas, there may be a counterflow of criminals entering. Or, as people commute, there may be a corresponding influx of criminals targeting the communities. A number of studies have identified some interesting observations in respect of an offender's journey to a crime. Offenders travel like everyone else. They go no further than they need to, often less than a mile, although slightly further in the States. They do not use unusual methods of travel, nor do they make a special effort to find targets, finding them in their normal travels. Distance travelled varies with age, probably because of access to cars. Distance travelled varies according to the offence committed, shoplifters tending to travel furthest. Women travel further than males, probably because they may commit shoplifting offences. By using the concepts of crime pattern theory in an attempt to identify offender and offence patterns, it may be possible to distinguish between how offenders search for targets and when they find one by accident, where offenders congregate in hotspots or where they are absent and why that is the case. Crime patterns are often very local, knowledge of which can help define a particular problem. The rational choice theory asserts that a person is a reasoning actor who weighs means and ends, costs and benefits, and makes a rational choice. Offenders therefore have goals when they commit crimes, even if those goals are short-sighted and take into account only a few benefits and risks at a time. Short-sighted behaviour can be particularly true in people under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Cornish and Clark, 1986, describe crime as an event that occurs when an offender decides to risk breaking the law after considering his or her own need for money, personal values, or learning experiences, and how well a target is protected, how affluent the neighbourhood is, or how efficient the local police are. In addition, the reasoning criminal weighs the chances of getting caught, the severity of the expected penalty, the value to be gained by committing the act, and his or her immediate need for that value. Rational choice theory is quite down to earth, attempting to see the world from the offender's perspective. It seeks to understand how the offender makes choices in respect of the crimes they commit, what motivates them within a particular setting, and what opportunities are available to satisfy that motive. In an effort to understand the choices a criminal makes, it is necessary to analyse specific subcategories of crime, avoiding generalisation based upon aggregated crime types. The reason for this is because offences are committed for different purposes and are influenced by different situational factors. For example, the offence of theft of motor vehicle can be committed for a variety of purposes, so that the vehicle can be cloned or ringed, dismantled for spare parts, so that it can be used in a more serious offence, or for joyriding, or simply for a ride home. Each person responsible for an offence rationalises their choice on the basis of their need at that particular time, and so the crime should be analysed according to that perceived need. We have examined the three theories of crime relevant to crime opportunity. It should be apparent that they all have several things in common. They all work from the premise that opportunity generates the crime. Each focuses upon what the offender does during the commissioning of a crime, and they make some of the same assumptions. The three theories of crime opportunity can be arranged according to the level of criminality they focus upon. Routine activity theory is applicable at macro or the larger society level, crime pattern theory at the mid or local area level, and the rational choice theory at micro or individual level. In combination, they support the concept that society and locality can change crime opportunity, while the individual offender makes decisions in response to these changes. Altering the volume of crime opportunities at any level will produce a change in crime levels. Town planning, defensible space architecture, problem-oriented policing, situational prevention, all of these offer methods for reducing crime opportunities.